Today, humanity is about to do the unthinkable. We're detonating a nuclear weapon at the deepest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench. In less than 10 minutes, the Pacific's deep ocean communication network could begin to fail. Not because of war, not because of hacking, but because of something happening 11 kilometers beneath the ocean surface. A place so deep that Mount Everest would disappear completely inside it. And if something goes wrong there is no evacuation, no rescue, no warning. Now imagine a nuclear weapon, the most powerful ever created, detonating at the deepest point on Earth. Not on land, not in the air, but in a world we barely understand. At first, nothing on the surface changes, and that delay is exactly what makes it dangerous. Because beneath the ocean, an entire system is about to react to something it was never designed to experience. Would it trigger tsunamis across the Pacific? Would radiation enter the food chain? Or would we discover that the deepest place on Earth is more connected to our survival than we ever imagined? Today we explore what would happen to human civilization itself if the Mariana Trench was nuked, how the blast would ripple through our oceans, our food chains, and our survival, and what hidden creatures from the abyss might be forced upward, unveiling life forms humanity was never meant to encounter. This is World Erased. The Mariana Trench sits in the western Pacific Ocean, near Guam. At its deepest point, Challenger Deep, it reaches nearly 11 kilometers downward. That's deeper than Mount Everest. The pressure there exceeds 1,000 times atmospheric pressure. A human would be crushed instantly. Most machines fail within minutes if unprotected. There is no sunlight, no sound in the way we understand it, just darkness, pressure, and cold stability that has lasted for millions of years. And yet, life exists. Scientists have found translucent fish with no eyes, bacteria surviving without sunlight, and predators adapted to crushing pressure. But here's the truth that changes everything. We have explored less than 25% of Earth's ocean floor in detail, meaning most of this world is still unmapped, unmeasured, and untested. And now, we introduce the most violent human-created force into it. This means that what exists down there is not just unknown, it is unrecorded, unmeasured, and potentially entirely outside our current understanding of marine stability. And now we are about to disturb it. A nuclear device more powerful than any test in human history is released into the Pacific. At first, it behaves like any other object entering the ocean. Silent, slow, unnoticed at the surface. But as it descends, the environment begins to change. Pressure increases dramatically every kilometer. Water becomes denser, more resistant to movement. Marine life begins to react long before detection systems do. Because in the deep ocean, vibration is a warning. Not sight, not sound, just pressure shifts. Something is coming, and it is not natural. A deep-sea monitoring scientist tracking Pacific pressure systems begins to notice small anomalies, readings that do not match any natural pattern. At first, they assume sensor error. Then the device reaches Challenger Deep. There is no countdown visible, no witness, just release. The explosion does not look like a surface nuclear blast. There is no expanding fireball. Instead, a violent energy release forms a superheated gas bubble under extreme pressure. It expands for a fraction of a second, then collapses almost immediately. The energy has nowhere to escape cleanly. Temperatures spike in an instant. For a fraction of a second, instruments closest to the blast register something that does not fit any known model of explosive behavior. Not pure expansion, not pure collapse, but a violation of expected pressure response. Water near the center briefly enters an extreme energetic state before being forced back by surrounding pressure. Rock fractures locally. Sediment is vaporized and compressed simultaneously. Everything in the immediate radius is erased instantly. But the real danger is not the blast. It is the transmission of force through the Earth's underwater structure. Because underwater, shock waves do not fade quickly. They travel far and deep into systems that are already under tectonic tension. At the surface, nothing changes immediately. This delay becomes the most deceptive part of the entire scenario. Ships continue moving. Oceans look normal. Weather systems remain unchanged. But deep systems begin to fail quietly. A deep-sea research station loses contact, then another. Undersea fiber optic cables across parts of the Pacific begin experiencing unexplained disruptions. Not full destruction, fragmented data loss. Signals degrade, routes reroute, latency spikes, and still no one understands why. Then military detection systems register an anomaly, a deep origin nuclear signature, not surface-based, not atmospheric, deep underwater. Global alert systems activate. Confusion spreads instantly. Was it war, a test, or something accidental deep beneath the ocean? In a monitoring center thousands of kilometers away, the same scientist now sees a more serious change. The deep ocean feed is no longer stable data. It is becoming incoherent. Something has broken the normal readability of the system itself. The Mariana Trench sits along one of the most active tectonic regions on Earth. Now disturbed energy spreads through fault lines. Small earthquakes begin appearing across the Pacific Rim. Japan experiences unexpected tremors. The Philippines records underwater seismic shifts. Island monitoring stations detect abnormal pressure waves traveling through deep ocean layers. But the most dangerous effect is not shaking, it is displacement. Underwater sediment collapses in unstable zones. This triggers localized underwater landslides. When massive volumes of sediment move suddenly, they displace water above them. This creates regional tsunamis. Not planet-ending waves, but fast, powerful surges that overwhelm ports, harbors, and low coastal zones. Ships are displaced. Coastal infrastructure floods in isolated regions. Emergency systems activate across multiple countries. And yet, this is still not the main event. Within days, ocean behavior begins shifting in subtle but measurable ways. Fish migration routes change unexpectedly. Certain fishing zones become empty almost overnight. Ocean temperature readings fluctuate in deep currents. At first, scientists suspect equipment failure, but multiple independent systems begin reporting the same anomalies. Then biological effects begin appearing, not from radiation alone, but from disruption of deep-sea ecosystems. Microorganisms displaced from deep layers begin moving upward through currents. They enter environments they were never meant to survive in, and as they spread, they begin interacting with new food chains. Silently, step by step, chain by chain. A fishing vessel in the Pacific notices something strange. Their sonar shows almost no life beneath them. No dense fish schools, no movement clusters, just empty blue voids where activity should exist. The crew checks equipment. Everything is functioning normally, but the ocean feels wrong, too still, too consistent, like something underneath has stopped responding entirely. The captain orders early return. No one argues, because no one can explain what they are seeing. Within weeks, international research missions are launched. Autonomous deep-sea drones descend into affected regions. Some return with corrupted or incomplete datasets. Others never surface at all. Low-frequency signals are detected near the trench, not matching seismic patterns, not matching known oceanographic behavior, not matching anything previously recorded. Scientific debate intensifies. Is this structural collapse propagation, or something we fundamentally do not understand about deep ocean stability? Meanwhile, governments restrict certain data flows, not to hide truth, but because interpretations are too uncertain to release publicly. Because uncertainty itself becomes a risk. The Mariana Trench is not an isolated void. It is part of a deep pressure equilibrium system that interacts with tectonic boundaries, sediment layers, and ocean circulation patterns. It has remained stable for millions of years, not because it is inactive, but because it is balanced. And now that balance has been violently disrupted. Energy does not disappear, it redistributes. Through structures we barely map, through layers we barely measure, and through systems we still do not fully understand. The most unsettling realization begins to form. We did not just detonate a weapon in the ocean. We introduced instability into one of Earth's least understood environments. And now we are watching how that system responds, in real time. Would this destroy Earth? No, the planet continues. But human civilization is built on predictability, stable oceans, stable food chains, stable climate patterns. And now all three have been partially disrupted. Fishing industries weaken in multiple regions. Coastal economies suffer repeated shocks. Scientific uncertainty spreads faster than answers. And global trust in ocean stability begins to erode. Because the most dangerous outcome is not immediate destruction, it is cascading unpredictability. Once systems become unpredictable, every sector adapts under fear instead of certainty. And fear spreads faster than any physical wave. But the most important impact is human psychological stability. For the first time, humanity begins to question not just the damage, but whether the ocean itself can still be trusted as a stable system. The Mariana Trench is not empty. It is not silent. It is a deep system of pressure, life, and geological balance that has existed long before humans and will exist long after. But when you disturb something that deep, you are not just triggering an explosion. You are triggering consequences that move upward through systems we depend on but barely understand. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly. Because the truth is simple, we do not control Earth's deepest systems. We live above them. And sometimes, the most powerful forces on Earth are not the ones we create, but the ones we accidentally disturb. And the more we study them, the more we realize how little we actually understand about the planet we call home. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more deep dive scenarios like this, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. And comment below, what impossible scenario should we break down next? Because once we start asking these questions, we realize something terrifying. The world isn't as unbreakable as it looks, and sometimes all it takes is one decision to erase it. This is World Erased.